Hey folks, this is the Contrarian Trader. I guess it was a matter of time, but this is off the Wall Street Journal. Detroit files for biggest U.S. municipal bankruptcy in history. My guess is right now Meredith Whitney is doing cartwheels in her office because she made the call about a municipal bond crisis in this country a couple of years ago now. She was early, which is akin in this market to being wrong. She was early on that call, but it looks as though the chickens are coming home to roost for many of these large municipalities, especially cities with a lot of public sector unions as well as private sector unions. Detroit is just an absolute mess. I wish them the best. All right, Intel, IBM, eBay, what do they all have in common? They missed yesterday. With the exception of IBM, eBay and INTC were taken to the woodshed today and slammed. IBM, if you're long of IBM and you're expecting the stock to proceed higher, I wouldn't get all that excited. Why? Because take a look at this candlestick formation here. If it would have closed up here around the 201 level above the 50-day moving average and the 150-day moving average, I would say, okay, the market's bidding it up. It's giving it a bid because it raised full year guidance, which was its only saving grace. However, the market's not doing that. You're going to have the 50-day moving average cross below the 150-day moving average, which is a negative. It's bearish. You're then going to see the 50-day moving average threaten to take out the 200-day moving average. If that occurs, say goodbye to IBM for the next quarter or so. Now, before I get on to the indexes, we have more news out this evening, more disappointing earnings. Microsoft, Google, what do they have in common? They both missed on the bottom and the top line. They couldn't even manipulate their earnings per share. That's how bad it is. Yet the stock market, the S&P 500, is at all-time highs and is so on rising up volume, which is shocking to me on a valuation basis and on a relative earnings per share and stock performance basis. However, it just goes to show you the influence, the power that the Federal Reserve has in this market. Therefore, the market is manipulated. Big surprise, right? All right, the next 800-pound gorilla in the room. You've had West Texas Intermediate Crude, the spread between West Texas Intermediate Crude, which this is a chart of, and Brent prices collapse. They are now trading pretty much equal. And you're seeing this is a monthly chart, so very, very significant. I've been going over this chart for months with my members. You're seeing a major breakout on West Texas Intermediate Crude. If you see a breakout above 110.55, your next price target is 114.83. There's going to come a point in time in the very near future where this is going to act as an additional tax on the economy. Remember, go back to my earlier videos. I said earlier in the week, last week's PPI number, inflationary. This week's CPI number, inflationary. Average hourly earnings a couple of weeks ago, inflationary. What happened this past week on retail sales? They missed, and they missed big. If West Texas Intermediate Crude, gasoline prices, which oddly enough, wink wink, have the highest inventories since 1992, those prices are still rising. IWM, Russell 2000, of which I am looking to add to a short, trading above the upper band of the rising uptrend channel. Topping tail today, and this rally is occurring on very low volume. Yes, it took out yesterday's up volume, but still very, very light volume. The slow stochastic implies that we might see a hook up and a continuation rally on the IWM. I don't think we have all that much further to go on IWM before we begin to break down and break down hard. The banks, this is confusing to me. You have, you know what, scratch that. It's not confusing. We're in a manipulated market. You've had your major money center banks beat on earnings because they brought down their loan loss reserves, not because their businesses are doing better. And in the cases where they are doing better, it's on trading profits, not their core banking business. The housing sector, I've been pounding the table on this chart for weeks now. Remember, this is the Bernanke rally a couple of weeks ago. I mentioned this last evening and the evening before. Check out my other videos. We need to hold this support level. 181.24. If we fail and break down below the 200-day moving average and break down below into this prior trading range, it's going to be a breakout point failure. 168 on the HGX, the Philadelphia Housing Index, is going to be in peril. If we take out 168, that will put us in the technical definition by Wall Street standards of a 20% correction, aka a bear market. If that occurs, Bernanke will have failed at his job and he should turn in his papers and resign. The VIX, Volatility Index weekly chart, consolidating here. We're down still about 0.5% on the week. Tomorrow's another day. Remember, Google missed, Microsoft missed, besides the other big names that missed this week. I'm in shock that we closed up today, and I will really be in shock if we close up tomorrow. Yes, it's short covering Friday, but still, this is really, these S&P 500 companies are not doing well this earnings season. These are some of the stocks that went over last night on the best stock picks. BAGL, Einstein Bagel. RSI still looking good, topping tails. I drew this resistance level last night, 1723. Looks like it's respecting it. However, watch out for your slow stochastic. It looks like it's going to spike higher and probably make another run and break out above this resistance level. I wouldn't trust this level. BYI, Bally Technologies. I said yesterday, don't short this stock. You lose your shirt. Sure enough, rallied higher. RSI at 91.09. We will be looking to short this stock very, very soon. Members, I'll be sending you out alerts when we execute those trades. Nina Paper, NP. This is probably going to break out. Really tried hard today. Well, maybe not. Volume really dropped off a cliff today. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research on NP. A little bit of resistance here. It looks on a price basis that it wants to break out. However, the volume action is simply not there. I need to drill down into the, take a look again at the weekly chart, monthly chart, and the intraday chart to see how we look on an intraday basis and on a historic basis if we are at a key resistance level. TAYC, Taylor Capital Group, key reversal on the day, topping action at 23. Jury's out on whether or not I'm going to touch this one yet. RSI of 83.18 really doesn't entice me. I'd prefer to see it higher. NOVO, I touched upon this one last night. If you would have traded this, you could have been up over 7% today on the trade. Huge, huge distribution. Congrats to my members who traded that stock. Folks, if you're not currently a member of the Contrarian Trader, I'm going to be working on the week ahead commentary, which is going to be going out to members over the weekend. It's 2 videos, the market pulse check. I go through all the major sectors on a weekly, daily, and monthly basis, as well as all the stocks that we're looking to trade in the following week. 2 separate videos, about 15-20 minutes apiece. So if you want to check those out, see what our plan is, or game plan is for the next week, please do so. We had a good week so far this week. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, robert@thecontrariantrader.com, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for checking in. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.